गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन तीरावन चारे तीरावन चारे जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Radha Krishna Chandra, Radha Krishna Chandra, Radhe. Jayo Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Jayo Nitai Gauranga. Jayo Jayo Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jayo Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Stotra Shri Srimad Divine Grace Abhay Charan Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Stotra Shri Srimad Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye Nashtaprayeshvabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 14th chapter, text number 34. Ditir uvacha Name garbham imam brahman Bhutanam rishabho avadin Rudraha patir i bhutanam यस्याकारवमंहसाम् दितिरुवाच न मे गर्भम् इमं ब्रह्मन् भूतानां ऋषभो वदेत् रुद्रः पतिर्यभूतानां यस्याकारवमंहसम् रुद्रः पतिर्यभूतानां यस्याकारवमंहसाम् दितिरुवाच न मे गर्भम् इमं ब्रह्मन् भूतानां ऋषभो वदेत् रुद्रः पतिर्भूतानां यस्याकारवमंहसम् वही है क्या?
नामे गर्भम् इमं ब्रह्मन्
नमे
भूतानां ऋषभो वदेत् रुद्रपतिर्भूतानां यस्याकारवमंहसम्
word to word meaning. Diti uvacha. The beautiful Diti said, Na, not, me, my, garvam, pregnancy, imam, this, Brahman, O Brahmana, Bhutanam, of all living entities, Rishabhaha, the noblest of all living entities, Avadit, let him kill, Rudraha, Lord Shiva, Patihi, Master, he certainly, Bhutanam, of all living entities, Yasya, whose, Akaravam, I have done, Amhasam, offense. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. The beautiful Diti said, My dear Brahmana, kindly see that my embryo is not killed by Lord Shiva, the Lord of all living entities, because of the great offense I have committed against him. Please repeat the translation. The beautiful Diti said, My dear Brahmana, kindly see that my embryo is not killed by Lord Shiva, the Lord of all living entities, because of the great offense I have committed against him. Purport. Diti was conscious of her offense and was anxious to be excused by Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva has two popular names, Rudra and Ashutosha. He is very prone to anger as well as quickly pacified. Diti knew that because of his being quickly angered, he might spoil the pregnancy she had so unlawfully achieved. But because he was also Ashutosha, she implored her Brahmana husband to help her in pacifying Lord Shiva, for her husband was a great devotee of Lord Shiva. In other words, Lord Shiva might have been angry with Diti because she obliged her husband to transgress the law, but he would not refuse her husband's prayer. Therefore, the application for excuse was submitted through her husband. She prayed to Lord Shiva as follows. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। दितिरुवाच न मे गर्भम इमं ब्रह्मं भूतानां ऋषभो अवधि रुद्रपतिर्हि भूतानां यस्याकारवमहमसम्। The beautiful Diti said, my dear Brahmana, kindly see that my embryo is not killed by Lord Shiva, the Lord of all living entities, because of the great offense I have committed against him. So here we can see, after committing a mistake, she is going and asking her husband to protect her from the consequences of the mistake that she committed. So this tendency of seeking influence from people who are in position of power is not a new phenomena. It has been there from Satya Yuga time. Generally, like people say here, that politician's son or a big businessman's son, rich man's son, they all get away by committing some crime based on the influence and power that they wield. So media, people all talk about all these things. That see, this is what is happening in modern times. But this is not a phenomena that is very modern. You can see this phenomena happening even in Satya Yuga. That how Diti, she committed a mistake, and then after committing the mistake, she's asking her husband, see, you know Lord Shiva very well, or you have connection with Lord Shiva. So kindly tell him that not to punish me for my mistake. Just like the rich man's son or a powerful man's son, after committing mistake, he will come to his father or a relative and tell that, see, I did this. Now you take care of the police, you take care of the court, so that I will not be punished. So this is living entities' defects. Just like Prabhupada says, a conditioned living entity is prone by 4 defects. So we can see that Diti, just prior to this kind of this verse, the previous so many verses, she was giving reasons of why Kashyapa should satisfy her desires. Although Kashyapa was telling that this was not correct, morally this was not correct according to the Vedic principles, but Diti was countering all those arguments of Kashyapa. And finally, she got what she wanted, that she influenced her husband to get it. So that's the power of a woman. Women are very powerful. You see? So a man of Kashyapa's stature gives in to women. So what to speak of ordinary living entities of Kali Yuga? They are completely under the control of women. No doubt about it. So our acharyas say we should never be under the control of anybody else other than Shastra and a pure devotee of the Lord. Only to them we give our control. You control us. To the words of the Shastra, to a pure devotee, and to Lord Krishna, we allow ourselves to be absolutely controlled. Otherwise, with everybody other than these three categories of persons, our level of control which we hand over should be very relative. Relative, like for example, our authority is there, immediate authority is there. We should be under their control, but control to the degree of, as long as it is in line with the Guru, Shastra and Krishna. If that authority is not in line with Guru, Shastra and Krishna, we must not be foolish to allow ourselves to be under their control. Just like we can see in Bali Maharaj's example. Perfect example, that is Bali Maharaj. So Shukracharya was Guru of Bali Maharaj. But when Shukracharya told Bali Maharaj that no, don't surrender to this Vatu Brahmana. So Bali Maharaj asked, why I should not give? He has come to, as a Kshatriya, I have to satisfy everybody, and he has come to ask Dakshina from me. So at that time, Shukracharya says, no, he is Lord Vishnu in the guise of this Vatu Brahmana, is not an ordinary person. So then Bali Maharaj says, if he is Lord Vishnu himself, then it is but incumbent upon me that I should give everything, I should surrender to myself. At that point of time, Shukracharya gets very angry on his disciple Bali Maharaj. And he says, you are doing Guru Avagnya. You are arguing with your Guru. I have told you not to give, because he will take away everything from you. Chalayase vikramane bali madbhuta vamana padana kanira janitadana pavana keshavadhrita Vamana Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare. He is Chalayasi Vikramane Bali Madbhuta Vamana. He has come with the intention of Chala, with the intention of cheating, to take away everything from you. So, Bali, you don't fall for this trap. You don't agree to his so-called requests. So then Bali Maharaj asks Shukracharya, Are, is Sakshat Vishnu who has come in front of me? So if Vishnu comes, then how does it matter whether I give or I don't give, you will anyway take it away from me. So better to give it willingly rather than allow Vishnu to take it forcibly from me. Right? Better to do that, no? Just like when a dacoit comes with full guns and everything, and it will give you money, and you don't have any weapons in your hand, what will you do? You will tell, no, you leave me, at least I'll live, you take away everything. That is a better solution. Right? If you don't have any strength. So with Vishnu, what strength can anybody have? We are nothing in front of him. No matter how big a person we are nobody. So that time, Shukracharya threatens Bali Maharaj. He says, I will curse you. You will go to hell because of my curse. If you don't do according to what I say. So at that time, Bali Maharaj folds his hand and he says, I am willing to take your curse. And then he agrees to the request of Vamandev. So you can see that in this episode, Bali Maharaj rejected his guru. Rejected to take instructions from his guru, which according to Vedic principles is not correct. One must never reject one's guru. That is a very big offense. But yet, Bali Maharaj is considered Mahajana. Mahajana means one who is a guide to society in Vedic principles. He is called a Mahajana. One of the 11 Mahajanas is Bali Maharaj. So, the point here is that yes, rejection of Guru is not wanted. But if Bali Maharaj has rejected taking instructions from Shukracharya, there is a reason for it. Because the Guru's role is to guide every person towards Vishnu, to satisfy Vishnu. Ultimately, everything has to be done for the sake of satisfying Lord Vishnu. That is the aim. So, Guru's role is to guide society, to guide his disciple, to guide his students in the art of satisfying Vishnu. Whereas, in this episode, Shukracharya, although being a guru of Bali Maharaj, is telling Bali not to satisfy Vishnu, not to satisfy his request, not to fulfill the desire of Lord Vishnu who appeared in the form of Vatu Brahmana. So that is totally against the principles of Vedic principles. So definitely Bali Maharaj did the right thing by rejecting his Guru Shukracharya and going on his own. So on those extraordinary situations, those exceptional situations, warrants one to even reject one's Guru. Whereas now in this case, Kashyapa and Diti's example, Kashyapa knew the Vedic principles. And Kashyapa was reluctant to indulge in a forbidden act. But because of Diti's persistence and so-called false arguments of Diti, Kashyapa became a victim to perform a forbidden act. And after the forbidden act was committed, now we can see Diti realizing that no, what I did was a mistake. Now in this world, for every action, there is a proper reaction. Nobody can escape reaction. Just like Prabhupada gives the very perfect example. A small child is very innocent. He doesn't do anything out of, intention. So supposing a small child, innocent child, goes and touches fire. No, fire knows that it is an innocent child. But will the fire pardon the small child? No. It will definitely burn that child's finger. It doesn't matter whether it is a child, young man, old lady. No. Fire by nature is to burn. It doesn't matter who touches it. It will burn to everybody. Fire will not become very, very kind and compassionate because it is an innocent child. No. The nature of fire is to burn. So it is the duty of the mother, it is the duty of the elders to ensure that the child does not go near the fire. It is not the duty of the fire, oh, the child has come, let me cut off my heat to my fire. No, it will not work like that. Whereas, what is Diti saying? Diti is saying she did the forbidden act and now she is saying, oh, please, my dear Kashyapa, you have a connect with Lord Shiva. Kindly ensure that, whatever action that I have done, for that action, I should be excused. Now, this aspect of Diti is so common in all of our lives. Isn't it? All our lives, we keep committing mistakes, one after another, one after another, one after another. And then we expect what? No. Something. We should be excused. No, what is there? Why should we suffer like this? Huh? Just like general people, they will talk when an earthquake happens, when some disaster happens, when some material misery comes, they say, Swamiji, it is very bad. Why is Krishna making this happen? They will find fault with whom? With God. With Krishna they will find a fault. They will not find a fault that it is my doing. Whatever consequences happened is my own doing. They will not find fault with themselves. Rather, they will find fault with God. Oh, you have seen Swamiji, like this it has happened. See, Corona took away my mother, my father. What is this? I have lost faith in all God, everybody, so much puja I did. No. God helps those who help themselves. So, consequences we cannot avoid in this material world. Every action has a consequence. We cannot escape the consequences of material actions. every small act has a consequence. So to protect ourselves from indulging in such kind of actions, we must take necessary steps so that we don't become victim of certain kinds of actions. The Varnashrama society is a step in that direction. Modern society is very chaotic. Modern society, in the way in which it is designed, it makes you do unlimited kinds of mistakes, which will only create more and more suffering for the living entities. The system of Varnashrama, the way in which Srila Prabhupada has given us the various do's and don'ts of a devotee life in a temple, or the devotee do's and don'ts, even if he is a congregation person, how he should mold his life in such a way that he does not, that the reactions of karma are not on him, is the only available method that helps us protect from so-called karmic reactions of this material world. The strict adherence to our devotee lifestyle is the only vaccination that can protect us from material consequences. Thus, the Srila Prabhupada's principles of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra 16 rounds, of getting up very early in the morning, doing Mangalarati, attending Tulsi Puja, then chanting, then Darshanarti, then attending the morning Bhagavatam class, having Krishna Prasadam only, then engaging oneself in one's activities, whatever our activities are. If you are a temple devotee, you have your duties. If you are outside working, if you are a congregation, then you have your regular job, work. And then you come back, then again read, then again Shravanam you do. You see, this is a very, very powerful way of ensuring that we don't become victim to situations. Just like when Marichi came in the guise of a deer, and at that time when Rama went behind Marichi, then when Rama shouted, or the voice of Rama was heard by Mother Sita, Sita requested to finally please go and help Lord Rama. So at that time, Lakshmana, he drew the Lakshman Rekha and told Mother Sita that I have drawn this Lakshman, I have put this special kavacha for you. You will be protected within this range. No one can enter this shield. So you are shielded from all kinds of negative influences. So Mother Sita ensure that till we come back, you are within this range. So similarly, Srila Prabhupada has given us a kavacha, a protection ring. What is that protection ring? Following 4 regulative principles, chanting 16 rounds, eating only Krishna prasadam, living in the association of devotees. This is a very powerful ring. If we adhere to this, then it's like a Lakshman Rekha. Maya cannot touch you. Just like there the Ravana was Maya. Similarly, here, material world in Kali Yuga is Maya, which can drag you away from our spiritual path. So from this Maya, we are protected by adhering to these principles. The moment you make a deviation, you will see you have given scope for Maya to enter. Just like you see, you take this 5-ton car, or even a 25-ton, 50-ton lorry. Got big lorry. How much of load it is having? But where is it resting? The entire weight of the vehicle is coming onto the wheels. The entire load of that big truck is coming onto the wheels. And that wheels is resting on what? On the tube. In the tube, what is there? Air is there. So it is actually the entire load is taken by the air. One small needle, one small nail, one small hole in that vehicle, tadak, it will stop. It cannot move. It can no more move. That is the end. He'll say, nahi, puncture ho gaya, bhai, ab gaadi nahi jayega adar. Same is the case with us. You have taken regulative principles, chanting. You allow that Maya, one small hole to prick in that, surk, Maya will enter there. You have given passage. You have given that time for that Maya to enter that place. You cannot say, "Arey, how is it possible, yaar? Such a big tire." Yeah, such a big tire, such a powerful tire, but one nail can do the work. What it has to do. So we must be very, very careful. So what happens when it get punctured? Yes, you lost the time. The tire can be repaired, no doubt about it, but you have lost that much amount of time. Prabhupada says that a devotee sometimes falls down, but because of his past practice, spiritual practice, he again gets up and continues to practice. But we should not allow, because we will be wasting our time in repairing these kind of things. So it's a very wonderful example The Bhagavatam is narrating these stories to help us navigate the various pitfalls that we as living entities tend to fall into. And it is giving example of such exalted people, how they got deviated. It's a great lesson, it's a great learning. These are not simply some stories for entertainment. No. These are incidents for us to open our eyes and to make ourselves strong by learning where we can go wrong. We'll stop here if there's any question, comments. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की.